Hey, everyone. So I just got done recording a video for the Napoleon Hill Foundation, which is so awesome and such a privilege. And right before that, I got a question in from someone who read my book, and she screenshotted or took a screenshotted one of the chapters in my book about mother wounds and manifesting. And she asked me if my relationship with my mother had improved since doing this work. And so I answered her, and I wanted to give that answer to you. Who's here? Say hello. I'd love to know. And can you hear me okay? So she asked me if my relationship had improved, because that part of the chapter talks about the mother wound. And mothers, that's it's our first meeting with the world. And how we're received, how much love we receive, how we're fed, how we're cared for, all of that. And even things we make up about our mothers that aren't their fault. We're kids, we have little minds. I've heard stories of, someone who had a story his whole life that his mom loved the other sibling more because he saw his mom giving this secret silver thing, and it was a piece of gum. He didn't know it was a piece of gum, but his whole life he held this story that his mom loved one sibling more than the other. So, when it comes to mother wounds, they could be actual real wounds, like maybe your mom left. Maybe she did love your other sibling more. Maybe she dealt with drugs or depression, or, she was just working too much. Or maybe she was phenomenal and, but at some point you got your feelings hurt. She grounded you, took away your phone, washed your mouth out with soap, did something. Like any human, we dropped the ball. So the chapter in that book is about mother wounds, and how when we hold them and when we continue to hold that as men or women, that, the way we view our mother, whether you know it or not, also kind of sets up how you see the world or the universe or God taking care of you. Like if your mother nurtured you and was loving and fed you and food was easy and comfort was easy, then you might have a relationship with the world that the world is going to love you and nurture you and feed you, right? Maybe not all of the world, but you can more easily receive it and you don't have the same kind of blocks. And so I could go on and on about how mother wounds are, it's important to heal them, and the whole, women and men, we need to heal our wounds. But the question that she had was, after I did this healing process, did it make the relationship with my mother better? And the funny thing is that, I've gone through layers and layers and layers of healing with my own mother. My father raised me, and I did live with my mom for a little bit later in life. And she asked me to move out, and I did move out. She asked me to move back in, and I refused. And so my mom and I have a really interesting relationship. And so what I shared is that as I did the healing work on my own mother wound, and forgiving my mother and just loving my mother and lifting her up to spirit, in some ways, yes, like especially when I was non-attached, there would be pockets of connection between my mom and I. Like she might randomly text or send something, and then as soon as I would attach to that, like the little girl in me that's like, oh, my mom it's like poof, gone, like right back to the same thing. So, what I shared with the lady who asked this question, if you have a mother wound or a father wound or any kind of, something where there's a relationship that you want to fix so badly, and it doesn't seem like it's fixable or like the other person is there. first of all, just give it. And acceptance is key. It is what it is, unless there are two parties wanting to participate, it is what it is. You see it in love and light. You accept it for how it made you who you are and what you are. But then the next thing, and I learned this from Dr. Demartini. I don't know if you've seen the interview or one of the interviews that we've done together, but what I learned from him is that he says, somewhere spirit is always providing. He doesn't say spirit, he says the universe is always providing. And somewhere someone played the role of mother for you. So if your mother wasn't playing the mother role, who was playing the mother role for you? Because people stepped in and played that role for you. And if you've read my book right at the beginning, there's a dedication, and part of that dedication is to all the women who've played a mother role at some point in my life to me. And there were several. My best friend in high school, her mom took me in and let me live there, and she played mother role for a while for me. And, there have been various different women who played that. And you know what the crazy thing is? After years of really struggling with wanting that connection with my mom so much, and then accepting what we had and how we had it, and that, it's not her fault, that there was something going on chemically, energetically. There was a 32-hour labor, her relationship with my father was strained. I can't know what the answers are, but if she could have been any different, I'm certain she would have been different. And I'm certain my mother gave me the best that she could give me, right? So as I started searching in my life for all the people who've played mother, and you can do this with anyone, anything that you feel is missing, like where is the universe providing this for you already, right? Because as long as you think something is missing, it's going to continue to be missing, and this thing that you're chasing and chasing and chasing, that's how the law of attraction works, and energy and all of that. But when you realize how rich you are and what you actually have, not only do you get healing on a deep cellular level, but you get to feel how loved and supported you actually are, which is a real thing. And then as you move into that, your eyes are open to all the places and opportunities to step into more love and more goodness, and you attract more of it and you see more of it, right? And so it's like that thing, I don't know if you've ever heard of, like, someone leaves an abusive relationship and then they go out. It could even be at a church gathering or a club or a grocery store, and the next person they get in the relationship with is the same kind of person, right? It's because we have these energy patterns and comfort zones that often we don't even realize that we have. And so those send out a signal, but also they give us a narrow focus, and they make us attracted to certain things and not attracted, hi Carlene, and not attracted to other things, right? So if you can recognize everything that you absolutely have. So if you feel like, oh, I didn't have a relationship with my mother like I felt like, or I didn't have a relationship with my father, the truth is that the universe, spirit, was always providing someone playing that role for you. It may have just been for a day, it may have just been for a moment. There were so many women who played the mother role for me. Aunts that taught me how to shave, sisters. And here's the crazy thing. As I was doing this work, I remember calling my friend Mesa, who is one of my dearest friends, and she's a healer and a light worker, and she is one of the only people I call to pray with me or to do things with me, because you felt like that with your mother. Me too, Carlene. We're so soul tribe. We really are. Yeah, and just to say more about that, Carlene, like my mom lives within an hour away, and we text occasionally and see each other occasionally, and that's just what it is. And I struggled with that for years and years, and I made it mean all kinds of things about me, about her, and there was a lot of suffering and incompleteness. And you know what? It was also blocking my manifesting, because when I'm relating to the person who birthed me as not wanting to give love to me, then you could see why it would be hard to receive the money that would feed me, or the care, or the compassion, or the nurturing, to feel like I deserve it. Like I would feel like always like I had to work so hard for it and prove myself. And like it was really hard to get for a long time, right? And also, myself as a woman and myself as a mother, and how I was able to show up has transformed over time as I've worked to heal this with my own mother. And so one good step is to go, okay, accept it the way that it is. No, lift them to light, lift them to love, let that go. Yes, grieve and hold yourself. But then the next thing is go, okay, God, the universe, spirit was always providing for you. And somewhere, somehow, someone was playing mother role to you. Okay. Sometimes it may have been you, your inner mother. A lot of times when I was young, I'd hear, you are so wise. Like my teachers would confide in me and all these adults. And then the next thing I'd do something really dumb and, 7-year-old like. And I think that was my inner guardian, my inner high self, my inner mother mothering me, right? Sometimes it was aunts. Sometimes it was a counselor or a stranger or a teacher. But over the years, back to my friend Mesa, this healer friend, she's only a couple years older than me. She is gorgeous, beautiful, total. So it's not like she looks motherly, but let me tell you, she is like Mother Teresa embodied. And everyone in our little circle knows like, hey, she's like the like that archetype. And one day I realized, as I was living in Egypt, anytime I was in surgery or any place that I was in the world where I felt really afraid or alone or I needed comfort, I would imagine Mesa in there with me. And I could call her and tell her too, hey, will you be with me? And I would just feel her. I would feel her unconditional love for me. And, she's been such an amazing friend. And, I have some friends that they call me on my shit. My friend Jody's like that. And I love her for it, And then I have other friends, and Mesa is a unique friend in that no matter what I've been through, and I've been through some stuff. I've cheated on people. I've left people. I've destroyed, burned things up that I've self-sabotaged over the years. Like, this woman knew me through the journey, like 20 years now. And, no matter what was going on in my life, every time I called her, she would say, you're right on track. You know what you're doing. You're so much love. You are beaming love. Like, what is the truth in this? What is the highest and greatest good in this? And it gives me chills, and it's kind of bringing tears. Oh my God, it's bringing tears to my eyes. Because who she has been for me is this unconditional, loving, nurturing, mothering energy, even though she's only a couple years older and she's one of my very best friends, right? So I had the same kind of experience when I first realized, like, oh my gosh, Mesa is this nurturing, mothering energy. Like, all these years, she's been that for me. Oh, thank you, Carlene. And so, I remember when I called her and told her, she's like, girl, I'm not that old. But then she was able to sit with it and receive it, because she's also my sister and my best friend and playful and gorgeous. But, what I want to encourage you with here is that, sometimes when we're manifesting, and we think like when you get really connected to something happening in one form. Well, the main key message here is if you're holding something against your mother, against your father, let it go, because that's a poison in your body. And part of alchemy is taking that lower vibration stuff, giving it to the light and transforming it, right? And your body deserves a better energy, a better healing, right? So we've got to learn, even though it's hard, we've got to learn how to let go of these hard things and forgive. The second thing as you can step into abundance and richness and be able to manifest more if you actually recognize what is already here for you right now and that it has always been there. Because then you're not this desperate person looking for something that you never had and like, oh, poor me, I don't know where to find it. It's so hard. That sucks so much energy, right? Instead, you're this person that is rich, that's provided for, that is knowingly cared for, and that in any situation, you know you're supported and loved, right? So for me, I told you a few of the people that played mother role for me. And so it's the same for you. You know, whatever you think is missing, whether it's a person, money, you know, look at where are they in your life? Where did that energy come in your life? Because sometimes, you know, someone may be wanting to manifest this dream partnership, but they're committed to, my partner is going to be Brad Pitt, you know, or my partner is going to be this person. And they're just warring. And it's like, no, it's not that person. And if it is that person, you're trying to control it so hard that they're not going to step up, right? So it's about letting go of the attachment. Because the question she asked me was like, after you healed this, did your relationship get better with your mother? And it did. Actually, it did, because I love her exactly as she is, whenever she can come to me, how she is. Yes, I still have a vulnerable little girl that gets really excited if I get a random message from her. But I've let go of the expectation of her to be anything else. In fact, I know she served me, and I would not be who I am without her being the way that she was. And not only that, I have been blessed with phenomenal women in my life. God always provided, Spirit always provided, whether I saw it or not, people who were playing that mother role for me. And now that I can see that, I know I'm divinely guided, I'm supported, I'm loved, the universe has me, and that it's not the form. It's just like God is not something outside of us, it's in you. God doesn't move upon you, it moves as you, right? And so these women were being moved as God, as Spirit, to connect with me and play that role for me. So I hope this is helpful. I know it is. I know that it is. But let me know how. Like, what does it open up for you? Ask, you know, whatever's coming up for you that you feel was missing, or ask, well, where is this? Where is it in my life? Where do I have mother? Where do I have father? Hi, Bobby. Are you still working with the Cowboys? We need some love to the Dallas Cowboys. So, you know, ask like where, and if it's money, like where am I rich? Where am I abundant? You know, where, like, you are rich. I mean, would you give your arm for $1 million? Probably not, right? So you're rich. You're worth millions and millions of dollars. You in yourself, as you are, worth millions and millions of dollars, right? So, you know, there we go. All right. And I'm glad it was helpful. Lots of love. Thank you for the love. Mwah. If you found it valuable, share it if you'd like to, and lots of love. Bye.